This is Hangout Conversations with your host, Matt Rappaport. Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting edition of Hangout Conversations with Matt Rappaport. That theme music was not written by me, but performed by me. And this is episode number 12. Thank you for being patient out there. We're having a couple of issues, but we've worked them out. We've used some creative MacGyver-like solutions to get everything A-okay. How are you? We had an awesome show last week. We had Brian Aldridge was here. We had a great post show. We had Byron Rempel shaving his whole beard off, which will be up shortly. We also had Lucas Johnson and Rob Michael. Thank you so much for your guitar playing. That was awesome. And Brian's girlfriend, Laura Malaise, was cool. She played the banjo. She played the harp. She was really cool. Lots going on. Lots going on in Google. Have you noticed the Google bar? It's there, and then it's gone, and then it's there, and then it's gone. It's kind of weird. I don't know what to make of it yet. We'll see how good it is. I like clicking on Google, the logo of Google, to get back to my home, and I know that's not going to be viable with the new Google bar. You have to click the little home button, so I'm trying to get used to that. Also, the Gmail. Gmail is integrated with Google Plus more and more. Now your contacts will have the circles. If you click contacts, your whole list of circles will drop down in Gmail, which is really cool, and you'll see the chunk of people that are in your circles, and you can go through. Now Gmail just has to show you the list of everybody else not in your circles, so you can probably get rid of a chunk of them, which I need to do because I have like 25,000 contacts. But that's really cool. I'm looking forward to more integration and seeing, will this really make people, do I prefer joining by hand? Oh, Bobby Joe's asking questions. I got distracted. This would be interesting to see with Google what happens with Gmail. Will people feel forced to check out Google Plus? Will they feel curiosity, like what are these circles, or will they not like the new format? That'll be interesting to see. You know, it's on Google.com. Another thing too, Google Currents. I literally saw this before the show started. It's kind of like a reader, and we added Hangout Conversations, so add that to your app. It's an iPad, Android, iPhone app. Download Google Currents, and you can add Hangout Conversations right to it. Our YouTube is there, our website's there, our Google Plus page. So if you're a business page, you can actually add your business page to your Google Current, which is like Google Reader with video and everything, which is really awesome. And check it out after the show, Google Currents. What else is going on? Stutter Social. Peter McDermott, he was guest number 4. Yes. He brought me Stutter Social. I can't. Now I'm stuttering. Stutter. What are the chances? Stutter Social is this cool idea about Hangouts where people that stutter are hanging out together to try to overcome what's going on. That was Bobby Joe laughing at me. To try to overcome their stuttering. I'm not making fun of people. I'm just it's weird. Anyway, I'm an actor. It happens. But it's cool how people can come together and feel comfortable and do speech exercises together, and that's kind of awesome that he found that, and that's really a nice little use for Hangouts and what Hangouts are doing. But yeah, so do you like the new iPhone app? The new Android app. There's a search, so now you can search for Hangouts. You can find us on there, and there's new high-res photos, which I know our guests and other people are going to enjoy on their app with that good technology. Pages, you have a page, create a page. Let us know about your pages. What are your favorite pages? We want to know about it. I have conversations. We want to know what pages are awesome to look at and to use. There's so many pages. I know I have a directory that I'm working on as well, G Plus Business Pages directory, and I think our guest has a page we'll ask him about. I also have Hangout Conversations has a page. Bobby Joe Woods Design has a page, and lots of great pages out there. Plus Tastic has a lot of great artists. I know that Tim and Paul, you're out there. Tim Clary's on there in the audience, as well as Sean, 3D Glasses, Mr. Sean Cowan or Cohen. I say names wrong. That's my thing. So without further ado, let's get tonight's guest. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for staying with us. When we said 8 o'clock, we meant back in times. I can't even do the time zone math right. That's how bad it is right now. But it's all good because our guest patiently is a man who brought us such wonderful Clancy Crichton creations, such as painting at the speed of light, Jovian Rain, some of my favorites, Andromeda 7 with Commander Rappaport, Adventures of Commander Rappaport, and Ensign Bobby Joe Woods. He makes sweet propaganda art, and he thinks of us as his clay, and by us, I mean G+. He is the goateed artist known as Aaron Wood. Welcome to Hangout Conversations. Thanks for your patience. How are you, Mr. Wood, or Aaron?
I'm doing pretty good now that we're up and running.
Awesome. Good to have you on our show. I see you're drinking yourself some energy drink, some vitamin water. That's
Yep.
always good. Did I say ensign? Ensign? What? Ensign. Sorry, I don't use that word. How many errors in speech did I make in that little? But
Keep
five.
track. There'll be a prize if you guess
Every
correctly.
time you drink, I'm peach schnapps for me. So welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you. I first became aware of you in Hangouts, and I know that you actually were part of this show a little bit. You actually were part of the post show in Mike Stanger's episode number 3. You were at the top box. It seems like yesterday.
Yep.
Time flies by. But how you been? How you doing? How was your holidays? Were they good?
Everything's golden. Yeah, my holidays were good. Had a good time. Ate a lot of turkey and trying to work off the weight now.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, we don't judge. We're not judges here. We're not judges here. Bobbi Joe loves the weight that you gave her. So you don't have to worry about that. The way you made her on the cover. So we start the show with random questions. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, or 4. You pick my technology, my artist. I actually trying to make the numbers a little bigger this time. I use my bubble numbers because
I'll go with number 3.
Number 3. All right. Number 3. For all the marbles, I'm really like, not only can I not spell, but I can also not read my own handwriting. So that is another thing that big legend, regend, resend. It looks like I wrote big Bra fan, so a fan of something, a favorite funny. This is me being honest here on the show. Something about. Oh, I know what it says. I know what it says. It says that McDonald's has a page there. See, McDonald's going to be a sponsor on the show. What? It actually. The question is. So, you're for all the $1 million. You are a big Beatles fan, and according to your page, I know this is probably not true, or maybe it is true. You supposedly play guitar with a Beatle, or think you did, and you have a favorite song or story about the Beatles in your lifetime, maybe?
Well, I'm actually a Beatles fan, not an Elvis fan. But in that block of bio on my Google Plus bio, only one of those facts is actually true. Everyone else is a lie. It's up to people to figure out which one is correct.
Okay, so is you playing guitar with the Beatles is a bad guess, or that's
That is so off in left field.
that's the one you want. That's the one you wish was true, though, right?
Yeah, when I was 4, I was playing with the Beatles. Yeah.
So what? So tell me though, like why? Like what got you into the Beatles? You know, why Beatles? Like obviously they're a great band, or you have a story maybe that like really touches you with art when it comes to the Beatles. Or?
Well, art-wise, no. But I did see that movie that they made not too long ago.
Across the Universe? Or?
Yeah, Across the Universe. And that artistically was done really well. The songs were visualized pretty well in that movie.
Yeah, Julie Taymor does some pretty amazing stuff. So
yeah.
Chris Farley wants to know, remember when you remember that time when you played with the Beatles? Remember that? That was awesome.
Awesome.
That was awesome. That was for Bobbi Joe Woods. Cool. Well, so you're an artist, I believe. I've said it like 50 times right now, that you are an artist. And there are a lot of artists on G+. We've had a few on the show. And, what's different about your art and what's noticeable for people on G+, is, you make these covers. These really, you take art and you take fun and fiction and you mix it all together and you create themes. And it's very meta, pop culture like, which is really cool, and it ties into the users. So how did you decide to, I guess, make Clancy? Where did Clancy Crichton come from besides his older brother Michael? And like, why did you decide to go that route? Have you made covers like that before? Is it something to do with Sean Cowen? I won't try to say his name.
No, it all actually came to me one day while I was driving, and it was because of the infamous whatever, Robert Scoble. And I remembered people saying this thing about the Scoble effect. If Scoble shares your name or posts a link to you or whatever, you get tons of millions of followers. And I'm a big fan of sci-fi, and I'm a big fan of retro sci-fi covers and that kind of stuff. So I got home and I immediately sat down and banged out the first cover, the Scoble effect. And I'm not really a writer as much as I'm an artist, so I tried to come up with a little, one paragraph blurb about what the book was about. And then I just started to get a bunch of ideas for other people to do covers for.
Awesome. Bobby Joe just let me know there are a couple of quote-unquote artists in the audience, or she calls them trolls. I know Tim Clary and Paul Rustan are out there, but I don't know who else is making a muck out there. Be nice to Bobby Joe Woods. She's working for very little, so be respectful and be good to her. Yeah, yeah. I love all the covers. Of course, my favorite is Andromeda and Andromeda 7 with uh, Commander Rappaport and all that. So how did you decide who to choose? Like, was it kind of just, I know you mentioned Skull, but was it like just a feel out of who you were hanging out with or who was popular at the time?
At first, it was popular people. I did one for Tom Anderson, the MySpace guy, and I just picked some really famous people because, I'm an artist. I'm trying to get my work out there, and what's better than to get somebody popular to reshare your work. But then after I did about 6 or 7 covers, I decided to just start picking people, taking suggestions for people. I had a whole post where people just suggested names, and I just started picking from there. I'd go to their profile, find out their portrait or something about their bio that struck me as interesting, and I did covers from there. In fact, I have 5 names that I wrote down that commented in my post about the Tonight Show that I'm going to try to do covers for, either now or in the post Hangout.
Cool. Yeah, no, and I think you're gonna be drawing a cover in a couple minutes when we get to it, and I will talk to you and ask you things about your work and all that. One question we do have right from the audience from the get-go, Paul Rustan, who likes to paint naked people, mostly women, but I guess he paints naked men too, asks, Aaron, do you prefer drawing by hand or by computer? Do you have a preference over one?
I would say preference these days is computer, but I can do both. As some projects, I sketch it, then scan it, then put it in the computer. I did a piece for my girlfriend not too long ago that was all colored pencils, so it was kind of a return to my roots. I'm a terrible painter, so yeah, I'd have to say preference these days is computer.
Computer, cool. And so do you have a preference between PC or Mac for, everyone talks about how Mac is the big daddy for graphics and all and video editing, and yet I have a PC for video editing. And it's obviously cheaper. Do you have a preference or?
No, it's changed over the years. It's not exclusive to Mac anymore, being the graphics hog that it used to be. So my day job is I'm a graphic designer and I design gift wrap.
Cool.
And I work on a Mac at work, and then I come home and I have a PC at home. So I'm actually cross-platform. I use both.
So you actually design, that's cool. You design gift wraps. Estimate how many gift wrap designs you've made and what some of your favorites are, and do you have to get approval? Do you come up with the ideas for the gift wrap? That's kind of cool.
It's interesting. I've actually come up with 2 or 3 original designs, but it costs a lot to produce an original design. So what we usually do as a company is we have these other artists come in and we buy art from them, and then my job is to pull it all apart and to put it back into repeat to gift wrap. Or right now I'm working on designs that were made in the 40s and 50s and redoing them. We don't have cylinders to print with them anymore, so I'm recreating these old school retro designs all in Illustrator or Photoshop so we can remake these and resurrect these old papers.
Cool. That sounds cool. Do you have a favorite then? A favorite one that you worked on or that you made?
Yeah, my Halloween wrap that I did is my favorite. I did this, I don't know if should I get up from the computer and go grab it?
Yeah, if you want to, take your earphones out, place them gently on the table, put the lotion,
I'll be right back.
Put the lotion in the basket, gently. So while he's away, he talked about a Halloween rap, and I'm going to entertain you with my own Halloween rap, the Rappaport. My name is Matt, and I had a Halloween show. Her name was Ermino Mir, and she did cook some dough. We had candy apples. We had some fruit. Everyone was there, and they made a toot Halloween rap. Word, yo. That was big
And
Paul Rustan. Hey, just in time, you missed my Halloween rap. That's all right. You get to watch that on the replay. That'll be fun. That'll be fun for the whole family.
okay, let me
Everyone
see if
just
I
left the
can.
chat room. They're covering their ears. Peni, what? Who said that? Paul Rustan. Awesome. There it is, Halloween.
Yeah, this I designed from scratch. So
Okay.
it's got all sorts of cats and candy
All
and
right, so let's see what we
skulls.
can see. So we see, I see jack-o'-lantern, skull, candy corn. I see some other candies. I see some like decorations. Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is
So that
there?
one I did all my own, and they produced that. So that was pretty cool.
That is cool. That is really cool. Did you dress up for Halloween at all, or?
This year, let's see, did I dress up this year? I can't remember. It's all a blur.
It's like that was so
Actually,
long
yeah.
ago.
Well, up here in the Northeast, we lost power for a week, including through Halloween. So that whole week was kind of a blur. Yeah, this year my friends and I had a Halloween party a couple weeks after, into November we had it. So I was Mirror Universe Aaron. I shaved off my goatee. I slicked my hair back, spray painted it purple, and wore a New York Yankees T-shirt.
Mm,
So
awesome. Yeah, and you were telling us in the promo a little bit about your goatee story, a little bit about how you can grow that thing in just a matter of 3 weeks or so, and
yep,
turkey was the secret ingredient behind your goatee.
yes,
So you always make sure to sneak in a little turkey sandwich when it's not Thanksgiving to give you
yep,
that extra
that's right. It gives it that shine.
the extra shine, the shine bucket. Your girlfriend must like it. So or
Funny story. She when she met me, she said, "You're going to shave that thing off, right?"
I thought you were gonna say funny story. No, she doesn't like it.
No, she didn't, and then she got used to it. And then when I was going to shave it off, she actually got really distraught and said, I might not like this." I said, "I'm not going to like this."
She's like, I was so used to you like leaving like marks all over my face and body with that sharp, rigid goatee making slices all over. But cool. I think we have another question from the audience that I might have overlooked. I don't want to overlook any of our smart audience questions. I think we're good for now. I do have a G4. Let's get to the G4 early because then I want to get into some of your illustrations. And I want to
Okay.
get you working. And while you're working, I think we're going to bring up some art that you've done and talk about some of the art while you're doing art because you have all those. You basically have most of the things you've drawn. You have like visually memorized, right? At least on G
Yeah.
plus. So
Yep.
the visual memorization. All right, this is a G4. It's a rapid fire series of questions here. Let me go right away. We're talking about Clancy Crichton. You also are supposedly a big Star Wars fan too. Do you have a preference, Clancy Crichton or George Lucas?
Oh, it's got to be Clancy. He at least doesn't redo his stuff every year.
No! That is correct. Okay, what's more? Speaking of Star Wars, who's more annoying, Jake Lloyd, Hayden Christensen, or Jar Jar Binks?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with a three-way tie.
They're all they all ruined
They're all
those movies. They're all awful. I think when it comes to movies like that, I think it's like that's what was so great about Star Wars that we didn't know Harrison Ford yet, and when they put like all these people like Natalie Portman and in fact Natalie Portman and Samuel Jackson, Liam Neeson and Ian McGregor were the least annoying, but they were still like, oh, all right. It's just like recognizable faces, And I know they're gonna. Are you gonna actually pay money to see the re-release in 3D, or you're like, forget it?
I will.
He's like, I don't have a choice. It's
Yeah.
3D. What are you gonna do? All right, number 3. I will again. I have to write my. Oh, there we go. I see what it says here. I think I'm blind. I think G Plus is making me a blind man, but it's really scary. Do you prefer making novel covers or music artist covers? Like if you design covers, like you've designed a couple of artists' music. I think
Hmm.
you worked on Heather Faye or no, not Heather Faye. You worked on
I did a cover for Daria Musk. I
Daria
did
Musk. Sorry.
one for Trey Ratcliffe also.
Who
He's a photographer / artist.
who is that
I
guy?
get. What See, do. I get equal pleasure from both. I would
Equal.
say it's just it's the creativeness of making them all is
So
fulfilling.
for Daria and Trey, was that something they asked you to do? Did you volunteer that? Like, where did you just kind of?
Just came up, just kind of came up, and I said, "Oh, there we go. I'll do ones for these guys." You get an
Awesome.
idea, and I just
Do they have those? They have those covers on their page, right? Or on G Plus?
I know Trey saw his, and I think he made a comment on it, so he knows it's out there. Daria is a very busy girl. I don't think she knows that the cover, even though I tagged her, is out there yet.
Okay, cool. And also, I was doing some research. I looked on your Google Plus profile a little bit, just a little snooping. Would you rather, if you had a choice between, okay, it's between Tori Amos or Wooden Tan's mac and cheese pizza. That is the
That'd be
choice.
that'd be tornadoes all the way.
Tori Amos, okay.
Yeah,
Are you saying the mac and cheese pizza's not that good? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
it was terrible. We actually
Oh,
sent it
yeah?
back.
Oh, it looked really
It
good. It
was
was terrible, but it's not.
it tasted horrible.
The idea is good. Mac and cheese on a pizza, very interesting. I don't understand. I don't. They could put anything on a pizza, right? I mean, taco pizza,
Oh
and chocolate
yeah,
pizza, and so Tori Amos. How is she? Had it? Where does Tori Amos fit into where the Beatles are in your life? Like, I know she
oh,
does
she's above
covers.
the Beatles.
Oh
She's
yeah,
above. Yeah, yeah, she is.
she rises.
Beatles are just compared to her.
I think is it? She's from Buffalo originally, I think, or no? Maybe
I
not.
think, yeah, I think she is. I think she's from that area. I don't know much about her
Um,
backstory besides that her dad was a priest and she was really rebellious.
how does your girlfriend feel about Tori Amos?
She likes her. We just actually went to Boston to see her a couple nights ago,
Yeah, that's what I
and
saw the
she had
picture
a
from.
yeah, she loved the show.
Cool. Would you? So do you do? So do you do things like you do? I know you do some meta and some pop culture. Have you done some like fan art? I guess in that respect for Beatles, Tori Amos, things like that. Star Wars, Star Trek. Oh yeah.
I have not yet. I'd love to do some fan art for Star Wars. There's so much of it out there, though. It's coming up with something original. I don't want to be a hack and just redo stuff that other people did. So I gotta. Been really thinking about something to do.
I'm sure there's. Hey, in the audience, if you have suggestions of I mean, I'm not that Aaron will necessarily do it, but if you say, you know what, I really would like to see X, Y, or Z, maybe he'll give it a look. He'll definitely listen to your suggestions. Cool. So we're lucky enough to actually have you do work for us right live in front of us and see your process. Do you want to set it up at all and talk a little bit about what we're about to see or
Well, I'm gonna do a Clancy Crichton cover,
cool?
uh,
My favorite.
and uh, basically I have not done any pre-work on this besides write down the name and a little snippet as to what I'm going to do. I'm gonna do all the art here in the next probably like 20 minutes, half an hour.
Cool. What we're gonna see is when you are working, we're gonna actually be looking at your computer screen a little bit, or what?
Nope. You're looking at the top of my head.
Top of your head. Okay, that's cool.
Or the screen, or the screen as I'm looking at the screen, but I don't have the capability to let you guys watch what I'm doing. So
Okay, not a problem. Just was wondering what about could you actually position your phone to not for the whole
yeah,
time, but maybe you can put
yeah,
we can look you can
yeah.
like I don't know if that would
Uh,
be a
yeah, I might be able to do that
for those of
for
you
a little
watching.
bit.
We made a little solution where we have double Aaron Wood vision. We got him on the computer and the phone to work on some other technical issues. So we actually yeah, for some reason your phone itself isn't it's not coming up like it's coming up like it's
Yeah,
muted. Maybe it
yeah,
is.
it is muted. Oh, that's right. We did the video.
There
How's
we go.
that?
Okay, cool. So let me put it the big screen. It's a little blurry, but I see myself, I see you. What obviously you can't hold it while you're working, but is
Yeah,
there
I'll do
maybe
a check-in every now and then.
yeah, so every now and then if you do check in and you take a break and you just like hold up like what you've done so far, and that would be really
Yeah,
cool for the audience. But if you want to
yeah.
start working and we could and while you're working, I'll ask you a couple more questions. I don't know, can you how involved can I keep you while you're working? You can I'm
Go
not
ahead,
gonna.
ask me anything.
All right. When you were
I'm good.
7, here's when you were 7. Why did you put the rug on fire? No, I'm just kidding. That was a
They'll
what?
never catch me.
Calvin Klein. What? That was my Back to the Future reference. Cool. So Paul's working on his Clancy Crichton novel, and we did have the chance to do a little promo with. Did I say Paul? I meant Aaron Woods. Sorry, Paul. Matt, Paul's in the chat room, and you know what? There's Breaking Bad. The guy's name is Aaron Paul. So
Oh,
so
wow.
my mind is like, there's a Paul in the chat room. Your name is Aaron, and the guy that plays the druggy guy is Aaron Paul. So my brain is going nuts all over the place.
Excellent.
But speaking of Paul Aaron, what is your favorite source of inspiration? He wants to know.
Oh, my favorite source of inspiration is,
Naked
wow.
chicks. What?
Who doesn't love naked chicks? I would
Yeah.
say there's so much inspiration that I draw from other artists, just everyday life. You know, I'll see something online, and I mean, I started all the propaganda posters because of the general mood between, all these social media sites. So, yeah, I pretty much get my inspiration from all over.
You get your kicks from Route 66. Sweet.
Oh, hell yeah. One
Tim,
coast to the
well, I'm sorry.
I said one coast to the other.
Nice. Yeah, you're bi-coastal. That's what I heard about you.
That's right.
You get around. This is a comment I didn't read. Bobby Joe's insistent that Tim Clary, who has a handlebar mustache, I'm not sure, Aaron, how well you know him, but I always say that Tim Clary's mustache drinks your milkshake. He wants to challenge, I guess, Byron, Paul, and maybe you in a testosterone off. A testosterone. Sounds like pizza.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
he wants to bring you all to the frozen north for the only cool thing they have going. Testosterone? Is that the only thing you guys have in the north? Um, I guess it's being lost on me. Tim, I think you guys are all manly men. Some of you are manly men, but I don't really know what you hope to accomplish. I hope it's fun. I hope that we have a hurl. I hope we all get to hurl, and I hope that we can watch you guys work in real life. That would really be cool. Not just a testosterone, but how about an artist oni where everybody does their own stuff, and then it'd be really cool if everyone started a piece, and then after 3 minutes you have to rotate it, and then every artist adds to it. That would be really cool, right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
see what would come up and what it would be at the end.
I used to work on things called exquisite corpses,
Yeah.
where you would do a piece of art and then you'd send it on to the next person, but all they would get is a little tiny strip of the bottom of it, and they'd work off of that, and then they would send it on and on and on, and then when it was done, the person who was running it would assemble all the pieces, and you would get this really cool looking, piece of art.
That sounds really interesting. Is there a place to go find is there a website for that, or is there a place to go see videos?
That was something I did a long, long time ago, probably 10 years ago. But before the internet!
I was gonna say before the internet, but the internet was around. You know, it's scary. If you go 10 years back, it's no longer the 90s. What? It's in the 2000s. You're like, oh, it's crazy. Time waits for no man. Tim Clary says he has a $40 lamp from Target that will change your hangout life. Are you talking about me, Tim Clary? Am I in the dark here? I don't. I can put on another light. Is it just you making fun of me, or it's hard to tell sometimes whether it's helpful solutions or a jab at the Rappaport, you know? Paul Rustan, Breaking Bad, and Boobies retro cover would be epic. Yeah, that would actually be cool, to see TV shows and movies and take people that are on G Plus and fit them into different characters on those TV shows would be a cool idea. If that's what he's kind of saying, Breaking Bad, if Paul, you'd have to know the show a little bit, but if it was a show you knew or a movie you knew, even Star Wars, and you put different characters in the different if you take the famous Empire Strikes Back and you put different people, I don't know who would be Jabba the Hutt. I don't think it'd be Michael Mozart, but what? Who said that? But that would be nice. He likes toys though, so he might like it. He has the beard and he meant that for Aaron. Oh, for you? What? Oh, he's saying that it's dark where you are. I don't. There's your mobile phone. That's light.
Yeah.
Well,
That's looking at the ceiling right now.
that's looking at
So
the ceiling. Yeah. Well, it's very. I like the red ambiance of his apartment. I think that couch has seen a lot of, let's say, cuddle time or whatever you call it nowadays, you kids. So, so let's get to some of these stories you were talking about a little bit. You have a little story that was interesting that for a long time people knew you as the guy from Toy Story, Woody. What is that about? Do you want to tell that story? That was a fun
yeah,
story.
sure. My last name is Wood, of course. So one of my buddies introduced me to another big group of my friends as Woody, because that's what he called me. And for years, I'd say for 2 or 3 years, everyone just knew me as Woody. And we were hanging out at my buddy's place one day. I got a call, and this is long before everyone had cell phones. And they're like, "Oh no, there's no Aaron here." And so they got the phone. Well, needless to say, that the phone was for me. We knew that it was Aaron. That's what my name was.
Yeah, your volume's dropping off a little bit. Is it your phone? Is okay.
No, I might just be speaking a little
There we
bit
go.
away from the mic.
That's all right. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sweet. Bobby Joe doesn't know. Bobby Joe is on a. They're on a. If you're on the live chat, it happens here first because I actually see when I move my finger. When I do that, I did that, and you didn't get it until now. But that didn't work because of a delay. Anyway, that was a test. Just a test for us on Hangout Conversations. You know, that show on Thursday nights.
Never watched. Never saw it.
Never saw it. Interesting. I'm sorry. So what? So how long they called you? They were calling you Woody for quite some time. They only knew you as Woody.
Yeah.
And there was
And he had a call to make him figure out that my name was actually Aaron and not just Woody. Just kind of funny. It happens, you know.
It does. What? Why are you making fun of me, Tim Clary? Why? I ask people for questions, G4s, comments throughout the
Who
week.
is this Tim Clary?
He's a kidder. No, but seriously, if you guys do have anything you want, tell Bobby Joe. But again, during the week, you know, we have upcoming show of guests. Get questions ready. You know, I have tons of questions, tons of things that are going on or whatever comes at me. But I'm doing it, bro. I'm doing it wrong. I don't know what he's saying. Tim Clary, I'm gonna take you on. I'm going to challenge you, Tim Clary, not to a mustache contest because I can't grow one like you. Not to an art contest because I can't draw like you. But I'm going to challenge you to a duel. I don't know what that duel is, but if you're in the audience and you want to see me and Tim Clary duel it out, maybe we'll do a Daniel Day-Lewis, who does a better Daniel Day-Lewis contest. That was probably a really bad one. Anyway, yeah, they attacked me on the show, and I'm not even there to defend myself. This is all I have. You know, they just want to hear their name mentioned over and over again. So how's you want to do a little update on where we are or not yet on your...
Not yet.
Cool.
It'll be coming soon.
It'll be coming around the mountain. So I'm looking at your profile, and you want to talk a little bit about your profile picture? The
one with all the posters? Or which one? The Infinity one or the one with all the posters on it?
Your actual profile picture with is it Infinity? That's basically an 8 sideways?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
How you decided
That one's just from the whole, hey, we can only have 9+ in the beginning. You know, I'm one of those first-generation users. God, I hate that. I hate that graphic that's floating around with the first gen. It's like, how pretentious can you get? But anyway, I made, when you can only go up to 9+, I made a little graphic up like somebody had infinite number of messages. Which, now the joy that's taken out because of the fact that they changed the counter, so.
But in fairness, the Google, for some reason, they changed it on the computer, but your app still says 9+. So that even with the new update, it still says 9+. So, whoops, Google. I guess you didn't tell your mobile people that you were changing something like that. But
get your act together, Google. Come on.
Yeah, it's weird. But the cool thing is now, with the iPhone 5 software, I know some people, Android people out there, but the notifications were always turned off because I would always check it, anyway. But it's cool to have them turned on for the notification center, so you can use the notification center. I know you.
Matt, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but there are any Android users on Google Plus. What are you talking about?
You're right, and you would never ever draw an Android as like a trash receptacle or anything like that.
I would never do that.
Never. So we talked a little bit about your. We're going to get to your art in a second, and we're going to get to Bobby Joe displaying your art in a little bit. But I want to talk about your bragging rights that you mentioned. You mentioned that that one of these is true, and I want to just read
That's
off a
true.
list to our audience. You can comment or not comment. I want the audience to try to guess at the end, and maybe you'll tell us, or maybe you won't. Hopefully you
Yep.
will. Which one was actually true? So I think that maybe instead of reading them all at once, I'm gonna just like throw them out there
Okay.
randomly. So during the show, I'm gonna just stop and say, "Hey, bragging right? I once made an unassisted double play in baseball at the age of 12. An unassisted double play at 12 years old. That's pre-puberty. That's before puberty, kind of.
It's crazy.
That's the first one. All right, so with that first one out of the way, we're ready to look at some propaganda posters. I think Bobby Joe has them ready, unless she has Clancy Crichton. Whatever you have ready, Bobby Joe, we will check out and talk about, and I will ask questions about each one. And the response has been pretty good. I know as soon as I saw it and discovered it, I was sharing Andromeda, or as I call it, Andromeda, but Andromeda 7. And you made some really, and you made an awesome Google Prime for this show, a Google Prime cover with
Yes.
televisions and actually on Google Current, I literally before the show uploaded our show, and I was using some of your art as covers of our show because I liked it so much. So hopefully that's cool.
Nice.
And if
Yeah,
you
that's all
see
good.
you see Aaron's art out there, you'll notice that it's him that did our art. So thank you for that. And Bobby Joe makes some great graphics, of course. What did you think about the picture she chose to use in your promo? A little on the side there.
Good job. She's talented. Keep her around. She's useful.
That's what I
She
heard
knows some
there.
things.
I heard that
Knows some things.
she knows how to design a few things or two, and let's check out what Bobby Joe's got up there right now. She's got it looks like a whale that's trapped. We can't fail. Uh,
Yes.
you want to talk a little
My
bit?
my Twitter. That's actually one of my best sellers in my Etsy shop. That's as long as we tweet, we can't fail poster.
Sweet.
It was the second Twitter one that I did, and I love the fail whale. And I know it's got negative connotations, and it kind of goes against the poster. Are saying, well, if we tweet more, then it's going to fail. But the whole thing about propaganda doesn't always tell the truth, So, yeah,
Wait, was that your New York accent? What you just did? Was that me? What are you
I
doing?
think that was
Again just now? It's gonna fail.
it's going to fail.
It's gonna fail, man. That's gonna fail. That tweet whale. We can't fail.
So
No,
yeah,
it's cool. It looks like so the birds, do they kind of represent Twitter a little bit or no? That
the,
just
the, the birds. If you get to the fail whale screen on Twitter, you get 8 orange birds that are lifting this white whale across the ocean. So that's where I kind of put the birds, and the birds are holding them up, or giving them some support.
mhm. That's cool. So that ocean represents kind of like the internet, the interwebs, the interwaves of the
Yeah.
or
Yep.
something. That's really
Oh
cool.
yeah.
So Moby Dick is the whale that comes to
Mhm.
mind. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure they had that in mind too when they were making the fail whale graphic.
Yeah, and so is Twitter something that you still kind of use a lot, or you
I
never
don't
did?
actually. I have an account, but I've only had about 1,000 posts to it in the
Okay.
few years that I've had it. And I mainly, when I did a webcomic, I would put updates there for it. I've been using it a little more lately because I noticed that a lot of people were talking about my posters, so I was answering people and stuff like that. So it's come in handy lately, but I feel too limited by 140 characters,
hmm No, that makes
so
sense.
I don't.
Yeah, and I feel limited too. I think Twitter is in I wouldn't say trouble. People still use it.
Oh yeah.
I don't buy into the whole thing that anybody's in trouble or doing badly or poorly or I mean as far as the big Facebook, Twitter, and Google goes. I mean, I don't think that
Yeah.
anyone is doing badly or people say they quit or they're dying or they hate Facebook, they hate that or da 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 da. But the truth is that hate really. I mean, I think people hate who people more than the product. I think like there's a very big
Mm.
disdain for Zuckerberg, and I understand why
Yes.
because he's full of himself and all that stuff, and
Yep.
and a lot of reasons. But to be honest, he took basically his concept wasn't necessarily new, but he was able to take the concept that was out there, Friendster, MySpace, and actually make it look more like a product that people were going to use, cleaner and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
with no glitter fairies and Nickelback embedded videos in their page,
Yeah,
to distract
exactly.
you. Yeah, he's a little, maniacal in his workings, but he's a little bit of a genius. He's a mad genius.
He is. He
Okay,
is.
one cover's done.
When you say
So
it's done, you're saying what you're working on is totally done.
yeah,
Oh
this
wow!
was a pretty simple one. So
Do you want
I
to
can
show me on the
actually show that
mobile?
to you guys. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna try to turn my phone and see how it works. How we can do this
cool.
here.
All right, let me
I'm
click
not
on your.
sure.
That's his computer screen. For those of you that have no idea what's going on. Ooh, there I am. Hello. Hi. There's a delay I'm talking about. There's the +1 button that you
Oh
that you're
yeah,
doing.
that's my plus one.
Cool. That is the now it's meta. Now you're seeing me,
How's that?
seeing it. That's cool. Breaking the rules, breaking the law, breaking the rules. Clancy Crichton. That's really cool.
Okay,
So
I want to talk about what this cover is about, where I got the inspiration and everything.
should we have people in the chat room try to guess who or what it was, or would that be impossible?
Probably. It'll be impossible. I had a bunch of people just comment under my post about tonight's show. And this one's for Duncan Ellis. And he wanted a Mornington Crescent reference in his cover.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody knows what Mornington Crescent is. Take this off now.
Mornington Crescent.
Yeah, Mornington Crescent is this fake game that the British made up. It has no rules. Those wily
The British wait. The British made up a game that has no rules. The British. The tea drinking British. All right.
British made up a
Probably
game with no rules.
all right.
Yep. It was actually on a game show that these contestants, these people made up this game. And it's got no rules. People just play it anyway. It's like Calvin Ball, if you're familiar with that Calvin and Hobbes reference. And basically, it takes place in the London Underground, in the transit system. So you can Google it if you want. At this stage, you can come up with anything, or Wikipedia, or whatever you want to do. But he wanted a reference on there, so since it has no rules, I came up with the title of Breaking the Rules.
Cool.
So that's the actually Mornington Crescent logo. It says Mornington Crescent on it, but a lot of the covers that I do, I try not to incorporate type into. I just make them very graphic.
Right.
So it's breaking that logo in half.
Yeah, and it looked really cool. Can we see it one more time? Would that be cool?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
And so while you're doing that, it's you. I don't know. You did mention you don't use text or stuff, but you did kind of have a little bit of an issue with using text, or do you want to talk a little bit about with some of your propaganda and some of
With
your
the
music?
can you see that up there right now?
Almost, we can. Yep, breaking the rules. So let me stretch my video a little bit. Cool. You know, it's funny, on the mobile screen, it's a lot bigger. You know,
Oh, wow.
yeah, with
Interesting.
the space they gave you on the mobile in Hangout with extras, which I never seem to realize that when you click the mobile big, it's a bigger screen without the black space. I don't know if it was always like that. If it
Matt,
was,
how's this?
yeah, that's awesome, Bobby Joe. There you go. Wait, let me just move the aspect ratio. There we go. As long as you tweet, we can't fail. There it is. I can actually get, the cool thing about this, while you're watching, it'll mess up a little bit, maybe. I've never watched live because I'm the one hosting, but I can actually get so now if you go back to your live stream, we can see if it's showing the picture, show the audio. I can see what the audience sees, which would be cool. There it
Is
is.
that
It's
working?
working on it. All right. Well, there we go. So I mean, I can't, once I click on what you see, it's going to show what I'm looking at. So, but yeah, so there we go. Yeah, yeah, that's cool. The as long as you tweet, we can't fail. Cool, Bobby Joe. And the next one was the +1. I know. There we go.
I got a lot of flack for that one. A lot of people didn't like the fact that I made it into a Russian type poster. I actually confused a lot of Russians because of the fact that it uses a Cyrillic faux alphabet, faux Cyrillic alphabet. And I wrote it out in English. People were trying to translate it, but it was just, it was fake. So I had a lot of Russian people scratching their heads at exactly what it said.
You did have a lot of Russian people doing that, or?
Yeah, I did. I had like 4 or 5 right off the bat that were asking me what it said.
It's so funny because your head is in a box, because the shape of your head is this little tiny box. Oh, I guess Bobby Joe had it playing. All right, let me just change the aspect ratio again to get your head back in there. So we saw a couple. Bobby Joe flashed through a couple of those, the +1.
Okay.
So did you have a favorite one? I saw the face. She's gonna put more up. The victory, Facebook victory one.
Yep. The favorite one is one of my favorites. I think the most humorous one is the YouTube one about cats. That one's one of my favorites as far as humor goes. I think she had that one up.
Do you think that YouTube, if you put up a cat video on YouTube, there's like a 80% chance it's going to be a popular video? It's like without a doubt. There it is.
Half the stuff in the What's Hot stream is on Google Plus is like cat gifs and cat videos and lolcat stuff. So
yeah, there it is. Keep up the wartime morale. Watch cat cartoons on YouTube. Yeah, and that's kind of a little dig at the cheeseburger, Ben Cheeseburger, or Ben Hur.
Exactly.
Which is cool. Yep. If cats can eat cheeseburgers, victory, like it on Facebook. That's it's funny. That really does look the Facebook really does look like war. Like it looks like Hitlerish almost, like the way you have that going. Yeah. So how did you decide to do this kind of propaganda? Like what inspired you to take these the communists and the Germany and the old slogans of war, like what?
Anything that was like an Axis type, it was more Allied type stuff, and Russia was an ally, so I try not to pick anything, of course, that had like a swastika reference or Nazi or whatever.
Although I know Russia was an ally, although between the white and the red, I couldn't tell whether it was like, white and red was a color of Germany, but also Cold
White,
War.
red, and black, the black swastika.
They don't get burned by Apple war bonds. It's kind of funny. Wait, can we go? I don't know. We go back to that one. You guys can see that as I'm playing with the stream. This YouTube video is going to be like, what?
It's all over the place.
It's all over the place. It's like it's big, it's small. That's what she said.
I got the idea to do these posters. Thankfully, I have to thank Google Plus because there was so much hatred for Facebook and Twitter going on way back in July when I joined Google Plus that, I'm like, if you guys want to make this into a war, I'll literally make this into a war.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and then I looked at it like, make it like these World War II propaganda posters, which was like the last really big world, was the biggest world war that we had. So and it's got some great art to it. Those propaganda posters have some really great art. So I tried to incorporate a feeling of that. I tried to use fonts that were prevalent at the time. I try not to use really modern fonts. On the YouTube one, I've got a really old-looking old television set. Yeah, so.
No, it was awesome. So you have the Clancy Crichton, we have the propaganda. What do you foresee, like with the Clancy, let's say the Clancy Crichton novels, do you kind of come up with like a little bit of a story for each one?
Yep.
Or, yeah, so what?
I do.
Yeah? So is it before you draw it? Is it as you're drawing it? Is it, what's the process about the novels?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Sometimes the idea comes to me first for the story, and sometimes the visual comes to me first. I really kind of work all over the place. My creative process is, off the charts when it comes to creating things sometimes. So I try not to sit down and be like, I can't draw anything until I come up with a story behind it. I'll just keep going and then draw and then come up with a story after if I have to.
Yeah, and that makes sense for artists. I think those that are trying to think about it too hard to get the perfect thing, those are people that aren't doing stuff. I think that, I'll credit Kevin Pollak. He said if you're not creating, you're waiting. And so I think that you need to put action. There's a lot of stuff on Google Plus people talk about wanting to see, and obviously some people are developers and some people aren't. But people are taking their own initiative with Google Plus. They're going out there and they're doing their own thing, and they're creating. And so this show, your art, tons of things that are going on at Google Plus that Google doesn't necessarily. They gave us the platform, but they didn't do. We took their clay and we're saying, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to do. This is fun. And a lot of people are putting the time and work into it, and some people are halving it, and some people are just talking about it, but they're not really doing much. So it's all about doing, and you're certainly doing. You're certainly trying to put a name for yourself and onto what you're doing and create and give back to the community. It's fun to make someone feel good. It's fun to see people's reactions to what you do, especially when you personalize it. I know Byron did the zombies. He did one of me first. He did, and a bunch of people. He eventually did you, and he was on the show, and it was a great show. And so we're gonna have to ask you to come back when you're ready to shave that goatee, and see if Byron will join us, and you can shave the goatee. This will be the shave show. Hey, when Tim Clary, when you're ready to shave that mustache, you know where you're shaving that mustache. I must ask you to come on my show when you do it. So
Nice.
So I'm just reading what notes from Bobby Joe. So Clancy, like the name Clancy, is it just something that was it always with Clancy?
No, I tried to come up with an amalgamation. I was going to pick a really famous author, or try to pick a really famous author, but then I said, no, this guy's got to be totally fictional, like fictitious. He can't be real, or else I'll get problems with fanboys and fangirls and stuff calling me out. So I took Tom Clancy and Michael Crichton, and Matt just mashed those two names up. That's basically how I got it.
And now that you say it, Tom Clancy seems obvious, and you probably even told me that, but Crichton is what sticks in my mind, probably because it's the last name. And Clancy, I just think of as a pretty girl or a pretty boy or whatever. Hey, Clancy, go over there and buy me some milk. Stop doing that. So have people been saying to you, hey, how did you get Clancy, like Michael Crichton, or do anyone actually believe it's real?
I had someone going for quite a few posts.
Wow.
Where can I get these books? Where can I find them?
Where can I find them?
I need this. Yeah. And I eventually had to say, no, this isn't real.
You're like, you should have, not that, Aaron's very honest, but if he was to take this cover and wrap it around someone else, like one of the, like a Clancy or a Crichton novel, and you send them the book, they might be like, oh, look at this. I could be a complete bastard. What?
I could be a complete bastard, but I'm not.
Yeah, although that would actually be a fun idea where and maybe, obviously you're not trying to fool people, but you say, hey, here's an idea if you're going to buy a Tom Clancy or a Michael Crichton novel that I can either draw one specifically for you, or I can give you one that's drawn. And maybe if you want a book, I don't know if you could combine with Amazon to do something where you sell your cover. Yeah, where they wrap your cover, the book. I mean, the art. I don't know if the authors would like that so much, but one's not around to argue. But yeah. So let's take a look at some of these Clancy credits. There we have the big one, Mr. Tom Anderson. Now, what do you remember the order that you drew these covers?
Yes, they're actually all numbered up in the upper corner. They come up.
I lost your audio for some reason. We lost you on mobile. Stand by. Houston, we have a problem. So we're gonna guess. They're gonna guess the order, Bobby Joe. You're saying? I'm not sure. Um, what? Yeah, we just lost you for a second there on your mobile. So just reconnect. Use the same link that you're invited to. Yeah. So this is a really cool cover. The Tom. We're gonna have you. Oh, my bad. So I gave away the first one. We kind of gave away a few covers. A couple of them, but we will ask you to guess what
Oh,
what each cover was, and we're
we
gonna
just,
we're gonna
No,
do
they're
you
the
know
going to
what?
guess the G plus
My
people.
phone just
yeah.
crashed, so
That's what. No, yeah, no problem.
yeah,
Welcome back.
thank you.
Technical difficulties. That's now all the people in the audience that have Androids are like, ha ha, not to us. So I gave away the first one a little bit, but people are gonna guess, I guess, in the chat room, which would be really cool out there. If you want to just tell Bobby Joe what you think it is. I know I gave this one away. If people can still guess, but although it's hard to talk about, like if we can't talk about who it is. Although, so talk about like the order then. What order did you draw this one in? Like, was this? Do you know offhand?
Oh, the first M Space was the second one that I did right
Okay.
after Scoble. Yep, that was the second one that I did.
And how did you decide on 75 cents? Was that like just a creative choice, or was that like just that suggest what year does that suggest for you? Like the 70s or
It's
60s?
50s to 60s,
50s, 60s?
like early 60s. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So we did
Basically, I
say,
went online and looked for old sci-fi covers and tried to come up with an amount that matched those from the 60s.
yeah, 75 cents. So that's like 3/4. So that's kind of like LeBron James. Oh, who said that?
Oh,
Oh.
this come through in the end.
Okay, we're gonna have a live stream. People guess the next covers to come up. So what we're gonna
Okay.
do is we're gonna pop each cover in, and
Okay.
we're gonna talk about what order and a little bit about like maybe what some of the things represent without giving it away if we can. And we're gonna have people
Sure.
guess. So whenever you're ready, Bobby Joe, we'll take the next cover of Clancy Crichton, who I gave it an accent to because I like to give accents. Then while we're waiting for it, speaking of guessing, bragging rights. I've scaled Mount Everest. I've scaled Mount Everest. Thank you very much. Oh, and by the way, I made an unassisted double play when I was 12, and I scaled Mount Everest. So this is the Tom Anderson one we already checked out. What you want to talk a little bit about the fire and like how you decided to do the space and the astronaut, like where that?
Basically, I wanted M Space is of course from MySpace,
Right.
and if you look, there's a subtle thing that he didn't even pick up on because he did comment on it. The fact that the reflection in the astronaut's visor is kind of the new logo for MySpace, which is that it's a line with two ends on it. So yeah, if you put that back up there again, that's kind of on his visor. And then those are like mountains. I wanted a really desolate looking place that this astronaut stuck in all by himself.
Okay, Bobby Joe, no problem. Bobby Joe, we're ready for the next one when you are. What we're doing, we're using some awesome technology. You might have heard of it. It's called Minicam, and I can't wait for more stuff to go on. But we're gonna guess who's on the cover. But we already kind of said Tom Anderson before we started playing the game. Okay, so here we go. The next one is called The Butterfly Man. Again, 75 cents, like all Clancy Crichton, although we will talk about why, oh, maybe it's cropped out his name. But so, without giving away who it is, go ahead, start guessing who you think it is related to on G+. Well, let's talk about red. Like, can you talk about why you decided on red and white without giving it away? Like, what can you say, which one to give away?
It really, I wanted the red background really kind of, I'll give it away if I say.
Okay. What can you talk about that won't give it away? That's the other problem with this game. It's like, we can't talk about...
We can't talk about it.
Like,
It's
that's
Fight
what,
Club.
yeah.
Can't
This is
talk about it.
It's like Fight Club. We can't talk about Hangout Club.
Yep.
So go ahead and guess right now, and then we'll talk about it. If you're in the chat room, give Bobby Joe your guess. Let's see what some of the guesses are for the Butterfly Man. And I guess while we're waiting, I'm just going to bragging rights. not only did I have an unassisted double play when I was 12, and I scaled Mount Everest, but I met all four Beatles, which we kind of discussed, and played guitar with one of them. Probably Ringo would be the guess. Not to mention that I've seen the wreck of the Titanic, the SS Titanic, and I know 11 different languages. So that's what's going on right now. There is more to come. So again, which one is not true? Assisted double play. When I was 12, I scaled Mount Everest, and by I mean Aaron Wood. I know 11 different languages. I've seen the wreck of the Titanic. I've been struck by lightning 3 times, and I've met all 4 Beatles. Okay. So Aaron, do this for me. Can you open the chat room and see what they're guessing and give us a little idea of who's guessing what? We'll give you some moderator duties.
I've got it open.
Yeah, cool. So check that out for us. We like to give the guests some busy work. Let us know if anyone said the right answer and maybe some of the guesses that were wrong for the Butterfly Man. While we're waiting.
I don't see anybody's making any guesses.
All right. So if you made a guess, Aaron just showed up. So re-guess what you think the Butterfly Man is right now, because he can't see old. Doesn't refresh. It's live stream. It's not. We love you, live stream, but we can't wait to be on Google Plus. We just got shut down. What? Nobody guessed.
No.
All right. Well, no one's gonna guess. No problem. So tell us who the Butterfly Man was. And
that's Guy Kawasaki.
Guy Kawasaki. Okay, cool. And he is the Butterfly Man. And I see the shape of the butterfly.
Yep. Which he puts in every one of his photos.
He does. So why Guy? So Guy Kawasaki was number what? Number 1, 3?
I think he was number 3.
3. Okay. What can you tell us? Why did you choose the statue, or?
It's the man. It's a man with butterfly wings. Of course, the story is the whole government science experiment. Guy gets butterfly wings and blah blah blah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, which was a remake, of course. Do you have? So while we're waiting, so comic books. You've drawn a couple of comic books. You've worked on a couple of comic books. So what is there a favorite one that comes to mind?
Well, I haven't done anything like for Marvel or anything like that, but I drew my own comic for a while, for a few years. We ended up doing 3 physical hard copy issues, and then I did a web comic for a while. Did that for about 1.5 years, so that was fun. So yeah, I've run the gamut when it comes to types of art. I don't just stick with one thing. Like I don't do paintings and that kind of stuff. So like to mix it up.
Cool. While we're waiting, I'm going to do some more bragging rights of Aaron Wood. He does design things and draw things. That's his occupation. But he built his own tree fort when he was 5. See, now that's something that I could put my mind around. A tree fort when I was 5, because I've maybe people are thinking pillow fort is better, but so yeah, Bobby Joe, we're ready. We're ready. Keep on rolling. Scoville effect is the next one. We can take guesses. I'm not sure. I think
that'll be pretty easy.
That'll be pretty tough. There I am in the live chat. Hey, what's up, guys? I see chat people. Yeah, so the Scoville effect is obviously about Alex Scoville. What? Who said that? Oh, there is a relation. Do you think it's, I think I've heard of Alex Scoville, but I didn't realize they were related, and I guess Alex exists the way he does because of his relation, right? Is my guess.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So people... So you want to talk a little bit about... All right, there's the next one, but before people get to the next one, the Scoville effect, how did you choose the bullseye, kind of? Like a bullseye?
That's that's one of the Google Plus symbols for their circles. And then the bullseye is kind of, it's kind of like a born identity kind of thing, somebody's got him in his crosshairs,
target,
stuff like that.
Yeah. The next one is called The Infected by superstar award-winning novelist Clancy Crichton. And so there it is. It's green. Can you talk about how you chose green? That won't give it away, I don't think.
It fits in with that whole plague contagion
kind
of
infection, viral. So guess in the chat room who it is. I think you might be able to guess. He looks a little different now, the person in the infected. You,
Tiffany doesn't like that one though.
she doesn't like. Did Tiffany guess who it was?
Unless she's talking about who's Escape Hatch.
I think it's Tim Clary.
Okay.
Did anyone guess? Or no? They're too busy.
Yeah, Dan R said Byron.
Who said that?
Yep, Dan R.
Oh, hey Dan R. Yeah, that's Byron Rempel. Cool.
Oh, and actually Paul did. Paul did right above him. Yep.
Who's on?
So that was pretty easy.
Pretty easy. So what? So what? How did you decide on the eye? Like it's interesting how you chose one eye. You made it red.
Yep. His the one shot that everybody seems to use for him. In fact, he came to me and said, maybe I should pick a different profile pic because everybody that does artwork of me picks that one where it's kind of the 3/4 view.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that just showed that one little red eye, that infection or whatever his zombification just makes it look all that more mysterious.
Gave him the mobile view for a second. You have double angle going on, which is cool. Yeah. Okay, we're ready for the next one. Awesome. Yeah, I love Byron. He is a good guy. He is game. I think I've unleashed him from his shell. I think Google Plus has brought him out of his shell a little bit. I think he was more shy, and now he's like, I'll just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just and there's some Google calendars. Or zombie. I called it Google, but it's zombie calendars that I got. Bobby Joe got. So, yeah, no problem. Yeah, we can go through it real quickly. Light of day. I'm still here. Light of day, guess in the chat room. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but...
hold on a second. I got to give a shout out because my buddy Jeff Harris, that's actually an old real life buddy of mine that we used to work together in a printing company.
Hey, Jeff. How are you? It's Jeff. You think Jeff's watching? If you're watching on the recording, if you're watching us on Google Current, that's awesome. If you're watching us on YouTube, if it's the year 2013 or 2050, thanks for watching. It's good to see you. You never know how long we're going to be around. So this light of day looks really cool. I think we're just going to nix on the guessing real quick, or you can keep guessing But so how did you choose the light, the fact that it's light of day? What is your inspiration for that?
Well, the whole last name, Day, at first I was going to do night and day, or that's been overdone, so I picked light of day instead, and she's mixed up in some guild.
Right, exactly. I was going to say
that's the little write-up for it. Yeah.
She's in the guild. So that's Felicia Day from... I guess she was on Buffy, sort of. I don't really know her whole history, but she's on G+, and
she's everywhere.
She actually did a couple of Hangouts, which is cool. Yeah, Bobby Joe, we're ready for the next one. Yeah, she did a couple of Hangouts to promote her video game or whatever. And I guess that's what we're going to see now. People, I guess it's cool they're hanging out. Here's the next one. Speaking of people, Fields of Wheat on Mars. All right, awesome. How did you decide? So basically, you're playing with the name now, the actual,
Yeah, sometimes it's a play on the name. Sometimes has nothing to do at all with the name.
Right.
But these last couple did.
How did you decide on Mars? Just to make it sci-fi or?
It's sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Yep.
Cool. We're ready for the next one. Fields of Wheat.
Paul didn't get that one, so Paul loses.
Paul didn't get that. It was Wheaton. Yeah, Will Wheaton was the answer.
Will Wheaton.
Yeah, and you wanna? I know that you talked about Scoble. Actually, some people are recognizing your work. Scoble recognized his, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just cool.
Yep.
Yeah, Bobby Joe, ready for the next one? The next Clancy Crichton exciting novel. Cool. There we go. It looks like it says Lego, but it's L3GO. We lost you mobily again, or we lost you not mobily. We lost.
Am I back?
Computer. Your voice is still there, so you can talk while you're trying to go back. But yeah, we got the Lego, the L3GO. If you want to guess who that is, it looks like half man, half C3PO, which again is another Star Wars geekism. Cool. So I guess I don't know if we're guessing still. So that is Perillo, Chris Perillo, whoever guessed that. Cool. who might be on the show one day when he gets his act together. That guy is a slacker, I tell you. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
so how did you choose the three? That's what like. How did you decide to make it?
Oh, just to make it instead of LEGO, I
Okay,
did the three to be kind of tricky.
tricky. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you think about? I mean, I know in retrospect everything, but a little plus button, the plus three. But that
Yeah.
was still cool. There he is.
Okay.
So the next one seems pretty obvious. I mean, like the ones that have the it's hard for people. Like when we ask people to guess, hey, who is that? And it has like their whole name in it.
Is that?
Who could that be? But so obviously, if we mentioned, I think we mentioned almost everyone on the show that you've drawn.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a few that we haven't, I think. But yeah, so Trey Ratcliffe, he saw it, and obviously he's got a sun and a nice little view in his camera. You want to talk
Yep.
about? So I know Trey Ratcliffe and Thomas Hawk and Kobe Brown. Those are the big photographers on G Plus. Well, is there something specific about Trey's work that you're capturing in this picture?
Well, the fact that he uses all these, he uses his HDR stuff, these hyper realistic colors, and everything is gray. The camera's gray, the background's gray, and then in the lens itself is this hyper realistic world, with really bright yellows and greens and blues. The whole write-up for the book was that he found a camera that was a portal to another world kind of thing.
Cool. Okay, cool. We're gonna show more covers in the after show. The one that we just saw now. Think about. I don't know if you got caught a glimpse of it, but there was a female on the side, and there was other stuff going on. What was the name of that one? Spheres, I think.
Music of the
Music of
Spheres.
the Spheres. There it is. So there's some hints for that one. So
Yeah, Paul got that one. Dan got that one. It looks like.
did you get that one? Cool.
Yeah.
What? So we're gonna. I think we're gonna conclude the bragging rights. So let me just read all of them. So let me
Sure.
actually, if you want to, you don't have it in front of you, do you? Would you'd be really cool since you're Aaron Wood if you
Mhm.
just read the whole thing one sentence at a time, and then at the end we'll have people guess. Can you? Would that be
Okay,
cool?
I can do that.
That way it's more believable. Because when I say it, no one's like, oh yeah, Matt didn't play with the Beatles or like.
Okay, I'll read them all.
Thank you.
I once made an unassisted double play in baseball at the age of 12. I've scaled Mount Everest. I've met all four Beatles. I've played guitar with one of them. I know 11 different languages. I've seen the wreck of the Titanic. I've been struck by lightning 3 times. I built my own tree fort when I was 5. I can run a 1-minute mile.
What?
I've been employed as a cook for the King of Spain. I've pioneered several alternative fuels. And I'm a certified black belt in karate.
Well, just the way you say karate, I can't believe that one. Because if you were certified black belt, you say karate.
That's
That's
right.
my guess. So awesome. So guess in the chat room. Let us know in the chat room who you think it is. Bobby Joe, and even if you see Aaron, who it might be. Let me rearrange the aspect ratio a little bit here on the video. Yeah. So what? Let's see. So unassisted. I'm gonna go through it real quick. My own process. Unassisted double play, maybe. Mount Everest, maybe. Beatles, no. 11 different languages seems kind of like impossible as far as knowing them fluently, although you didn't say fluent. The wreck of the Titanic might be possible. 3 times lightning, I don't think so. Tree fort, maybe. 1-minute mile, I don't think so. King of Spain, I don't think you're a cook. Pioneered several alternative fuels, that's possible. All right, so I'm trying to think. Double play, Titanic, Tree Fort, and Fuels. Those four, I think I've narrowed it down to those four. So I guess I will go. I should choose one, right? Let's see.
Yep.
Let's see. Fuels, Tree Fort. 5 is kind of young, but I can see that. I mean, when you say build my own, I mean, you could have had help. We don't know that. So
Oh, yeah, sure.
so maybe Tree Fort. I think it's either baseball or tree fort. And, the first thing you wrote was the double play. Maybe you were trying to be truthful at the beginning. There is that. We do play a game on Hangout. Some of you have played it, some of you haven't, called Two Truths and One Lie. And it's a fun game if you're in Hangouts to go around and have people do this. It's a lot of fun that they say three things about themselves and one of them isn't true, and then everyone types in the chat what they think isn't true. And it's just for shits and giggles, but it's a lot of fun. And this is kind of like this, except this is like 50 lies and one and one truth. It's the opposite. But Bobby Joe, if you want to guess too who you think it is, and people in the chat room want to guess, and we'll try to tally up what everybody thinks the truth is, I should say. And we thank you for revealing your secrets. Separate alternative fuels. I don't know. I want to go with double play or tree fort. I'm going with tree fort. So I'm going with tree fort. No one's guessing.
Okay. No, they are. SMC said 11 languages. Titanic. Just a treehouse. You're going with treehouse, right?
Treehouse, yeah.
Okay.
Don't answer yet. Before you answer, the person. Now we're gonna have a Conversations Plus post show, and I don't know. Hopefully, you'll do another cover and anything else you want to do. I know you do inspiration. Can we do, like, if someone, not me, but if someone did get it, do you want to do something for them, or would that be cool? Or
no, I hate
that's
people.
not the way you work.
So
you hate that? Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna do anything.
No problem.
No, I could.
He's like, I hate you guys.
I hate everyone.
No,
Who are you?
You could just put like
get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. So is that tree fort is the answer? What? No, I'm just kidding. What? And the answer is, what is the answer?
Is the unassisted double play.
Oh, I was so close, so close. I was like 50-50 on that. All right.
I have to explain how I made the unassisted double play.
All right.
It was pretty much luck. The biggest dude on the other team was up. I mean, he towered over all of us. We were 10, 11, 12 years old. He was a good foot over the rest of us, and he comes up to bat. I was playing second base at the time, and he drilled a line drive right at my head. And I took a step, stuck my glove out, made the line drive, caught that. The guy that was on second base took off running for third immediately, so I took 2 steps over to my right and tagged the base. He came back. I tagged him, and there you go. Double play.
And so, like, did you guys win that game, buddy? Do you remember if you won that game?
No, actually, we got crushed that game. If I remember, because we were playing the team with the best guy on it. He had this look on his face like he couldn't believe I caught it. It was this laser that came right at me, and I just put my glove up and caught it.
Cool. Well, a lot of people are watching us, and I want to do another quick shout-out to everyone in the chat room, Tim Clary and Paul Roustan and Bobby Joe Woods in the chat room. We are live every Thursday. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Jeff Harris was there. Captain was there. And a bunch of other people there. I think Tiffany Henry was there as well. And it was a pleasure to see all these people come and support Hangout Conversations. So hopefully we'll get to hang out with a few of them soon. I don't know who you'll never know who might drop in at any time. So what else going on with G Plus? What is the best thing about G Plus in your eyes? What do you?
Do I have to be honest? No.
No.
No. I'm only kidding.
I like not on my show. We're not honest. What are you talking about?
What?
Who do you think I am, Charlie Rose?
I want hard-hitting questions and facts now.
Who killed Kennedy?
It was the grassy knoll did it. I really like the engagement level on Google Plus, and that's not to say that Facebook isn't engaging. I have to quickly say that the people who say they hate everybody on Facebook, their friends and family, you just don't have the right friends and family. But I kind of keep it separately. I've got my friends on Facebook, and I've got a whole bunch of strangers on Google Plus that follow me. I follow them. We all talk, and at the end of the day, we go to our opposite corners of the world, and then we're back at it the next day. It's definitely great for exposure. It's gotten me a lot of exposure. It's gotten a lot of people a lot of exposure that were kind of unknowns. So
Cool.
I think it's the level of exposure that's probably the best thing. It can take somebody who's relatively unknown, and the next day they're on everybody's list of who's who.
Cool. Well, I can't thank you enough. I hope you've been having a good time. I look forward to the post show. And again we're sorry about all the technical snafus that have happened.
Oh, no worries. We figured
And
it out.
we figured it out. We got some brain power. We got it all going on. Um, yeah, it was a good time. The conversation plus is gonna be really cool. Usually I do another question. Um,
Sure.
so uh, these are the ones you have left. Let's see, two, one, or four.
I'm gonna go with two.
All right, number two for all the marbles.
With my sci-fi background, I should have picked four first and then two next. That would have got everybody.
Yeah, that's all good. Well, we won't get to the other ones, but this is actually a good one. This is actually one that relates to what we're talking about. For 50,000 plus ones, who is your all-time favorite, or what is your all-time favorite piece of art, painting or portrait or cover? Like what is there a piece that's your favorite in the world?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's the one I don't know the name of, but it actually is a Renaissance piece with a bunch of bathing nudes. Um, but the favorite one that everyone's heard of is Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch.
Okay. Why? So you want to talk about a little bit about it and why it's your favorite?
It's big. It's a triptych, and that means it's three different panels. And in the center panel, it was meant to be kind of like in a cabinet. So you saw the two front panels, and you open those up, and in the center panel, there's a painting of the Earth, and then in the side, I believe it's the Earth. On one side, on one panel is Garden of Eden, Garden of Earthly Delights, but there's a lot of weird stuff going on in there. And on the other side, it's Hell. It's actually Hell on Earth, and it shows a lot of nightmarish stuff or whatever. Which I'm really not into horror or whatever, but I think you can spend a lot of time just looking at the painting and finding a whole bunch of different things going on in it, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Well, I wonder what they're saying in the chat room about their favorite pieces of art. I'm not sure what they might like, but it would be nice if one of them could drop in and tell us what their favorite pieces of art. Oh my God, Tiffany Henry, what are you doing on Hangout Conversations? ZOMG, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you.
What is your?
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks for being here. Well, so. Do you have a favorite piece of art or some kind of art that you really like?
Not really. I mean, I've seen a lot of creative stuff here on Google Plus. I've never seen anything that, well, I don't know about Aaron, but I think my favorite so far is Paul Rassan's. And I think it's so creative. Like, everyone is different.
How much
Like
did he pay you to
Samantha's,
say that?
Paul's. Nothing. He should pay me. Paul, if you're listening,
Plus
you
one.
need to pay me for this. But yeah, I think what he does is really unique, and I also think what Samantha Villeneuve also does is really
Cool.
unique, because I've never seen anything like it before. So I just want to throw those two out there and say, yeah, I definitely like.
Yeah, there's a lot of great art, and what they do is really great. Sam and as well as Paul and Byron and Mike and Tim and a bunch of them.
Byron actually did two pieces of me. He made me a Movember girl, and he also zombified me. So.
Yeah. Did you feel good? Did you always wondered what it would like to have hair on your face, or was that like that was a new?
He did it without me knowing. It was one of those things where he posted it, and I was like, "You were drawing me? Oh my god!"
Yeah, I think a lot of them do that. A lot of them will draw you either in a Hangout or not. I know Tim Clary drew the evil Princess Bride version of me, and
yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Cliff drew me in a speed painting hangout. I played with Cliff last night. Actually, he's pretty cool. he drew me in a speed painting hangout, and it was everyone was saying, well, that's you. Like he got you to the
He
speed.
got you
So
really
I
good.
really love Cliff's work
That's
That's
cool.
as well.
that's really cool. So Paul says flutes the buttholes. Is that what his favorite his favorite art?
No, he's
Awesome.
referencing Garden of Earthly Delights.
Awesome. A reference that I can't. My movie brain is not. I don't. I'm not cultured enough for the art world. That part of it. But thank you, Paul. For the reference. So Tiffany, you hurl. Tiffany likes to hurl. Cliff Roth was a lot of fun. So Cliff Roth is a speed painter, and you hurled with him and a few other people. I don't know if you know Aaron about the hurling. You talked about Daria Musk. She was big into the hurling and all that stuff. So, um,
Well, her word for it is hip. Hang out in person.
right, or hang
So
out in real life depends on
yeah,
which you
Oh
prefer.
yeah, that
yeah,
stuff.
That stuff that I have seen in my stream and take over. Why?
Yeah,
yeah.
So
I've
what?
not hung out in real life with anybody on here yet.
And I will
so.
never. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Get off my lawn.
Get off! Get out of my house! Who are you people with the zombie-looking faces? Oh, you're zombies. That's not good. So what? So some of your hurls, I know we actually had a chance to hurl, and I know that you hurled with
Yeah.
Cliff, and you hurled with
Wendy Sanders.
Wendy Sanders. Okay.
I actually have a couple more hurls planned.
And you
In
actually
the
have a
coming
hurl
week.
album, which makes me think you should have like a hurl page. Or
Oh.
a hit page, or say it's hip to hurl, or one or the other. Well, I don't know. It's your choice.
Or, maybe I can just call it It's Hip to Hurl.
Right, exactly.
Just so everyone's happy,
Right. Or you could just put hurl
Yeah.
/ hip and then or whatever you want. I mean, that's an idea. There's so many. Think about pages. I could come up with page ideas till I'm blue in the face. But who has time for that? Who
Yeah,
has
I
time for all
know.
those
You just
pages?
came up with one.
So it's crazy. Hurling all the way. I want to go hurl curling with Byron in Manitoba. Yeah, Tim wants to hurl with Byron because he wants you, Byron, to shave his mustache in a hangout. That would be cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I do have a G4. Actually, truth be told, we did have another surprise that we were going to bring on, but we had some other issues. So I'm going to ask you a little bit of her G4. So Tiffany, do you have anything? This is the first one related to art, to music or singing. Do you have any artistic talent that we don't know about, or that you know?
I
Any
wish.
hobbies?
I
Dancing?
wish.
Are you a dancer? Do you like to dance? Are you?
I like to dance. I like to sing. It's just that one talent I always wished I had was singing, and I can only sing in the shower, and that's it. It's not like I'm gonna go, on a stage and belt
Okay,
out
so
a
I
couple
guess
of
number
tunes.
2 is favorite karaoke
Yeah.
song. I should probably, if you, that's not a good question to ask you after, because you karaoke in the shower. So what's the favorite, the song you like to sing in the shower? Do you have a couple of preferences in the shower that you like to sing, or?
Anything by Lady Gaga.
Okay,
Anything.
so Gaga
Anything.
occupies your shower time. Okay, that's
She
interesting.
occupies my shower time all the time. She occupies my karaoke time as well.
She does.
So,
Okay. Do you have a
yes.
favorite Lady Gaga song?
Right now it's on the edge of her new album.
Okay.
Right now it's that. The one off her last album was Just Dance.
Just dance. How do you feel about Tori Amos? Do you have any feeling about Tori Amos?
I don't think I've ever heard any of her stuff,
Okay.
so no.
You're gonna break Aaron. Sorry. He's sorry. Oh, medic! Medic!
It's actually pretty funny because I was just looking at a Tori Amos video a couple days ago, and every Tori Amos video on YouTube breaks down into a Lady Gaga versus Tori Amos because they both play the piano, and you get some really, really hurtful things being said by people about both, on both sides.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of.
I guess I need to check that out then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because we had Daria Musk on, and I don't feel like I'm old, but I asked Daria about like Alanis Morissette, it almost seemed like I was asking her about like Elvis Presley or something like I'm like, oh, I guess she's kind of not like, I guess I don't know, like
Sorry, what?
it's like
Or probably.
23, 2, 3, somewhere between. I think, yeah, but yeah. So I guess when Alanis came out, she was still like in single digits or something. But it,
Yeah.
it's hard to think. It's like there's babies and then there are babies, So it's like your baby's having my baby or something like that. All right, so the next one was ballad verse. Do you guys prefer ballad? I was going to ask singing, but do you guys prefer ballads or up tempos? You like songs that are really slow and monster emotional, or do you like fast, really dance music? Do you have a preference?
I prefer fast, really dance music.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a fast, dance music, like any, like steampunk or, rock or, like anything like that.
I
I
know
do have
steampunk was a type of music.
yeah, dubstep. I like dubstep.
Yeah, so
I think
now all
dubstep is
these
pretty
so
cool.
now all these types of music that in the last couple of years, everyone was like, "Oh my god, alternative and ska and punk." And now
Yeah,
it's like steampunk and dubstep and
yeah.
that's probably a
House
genre.
music and
House,
techno
yeah, house and
and
techno were always, yeah.
yeah.
But like
I
some of
can't do
the
house music. It hurts
so
it gives me a headache.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk more on Conversations Plus about music and art, definitely. But it's interesting, like the slang that comes up, and now with all the abbreviations, and you see FTW and hurling and hip, everybody wants
Yeah.
to make everything shorter and quicker and instant, And there's something good and bad about that. I don't know, but like with technology, it feels like if you don't strike while the iron's hot, which is within the first like couple of minutes or days, or like look at G Plus, how we all jumped on and then it's interesting. So hurl or hip. So that's the last one. That's actually on the card. Which do you have to choose between hurl and hip? I like hurl myself because I like to say that word. Hip is not fun. Hip sounds like I'm playing hockey or I have like medical insurance. So you know, but
That's the same thing. That's the same thing I say, and I get asked this question a lot. Like, what are you, Tiff? Are you team hip? Or are you team hurl? What are you?
right, it's
Especially because
teams.
I named my album the way I named my album. But I like hurl. I use hurl with anyone here on Google Plus because everyone knows what it means.
Right,
In real life, I'll say to my real life friends, well, I hung out in person with someone I met on Google Plus the other day.
right.
So I like to use both. Depending on where I am. But if I had to choose, I guess I would choose hurl.
Yeah, I choose hurl too because, and you know what? People say, oh, how can you choose hurl? Because it sounds like puking, but is Wayne's World, and maybe I'm dating myself too, but Wayne's World, I think I'm going to hurl. I mean, like, it's fun to say, I think I'm going to go hurl now. It was like, oh, you're talking about puking or hanging
Yeah.
out with someone. What about you? If you had to, would you rather say hurl or I'm going to hip with someone or hurl? Like, do you have a preference, Aaron? And nothing against people that like hip. It's hip to be hip, but
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say hip is better because
yeah,
hurl's got such a negative connotation to it.
yeah. But hip
But
doesn't
so I
sound
mean,
like, hip doesn't sound
these
like an
days hip
action,
does
does it?
too.
Does
Well,
hip doesn't sound like you're like actively doing anything.
I'm hip.
Oh,
I
Doctor.
Dr. Evil. So at least you got that. No, I think hip sounds better to me. Yeah.
It sounds better. But would
Yeah.
you say I'm going to hip with someone?
Well, if I was going to hurl with somebody, that they better, somebody wants to hold my hair while I throw up.
But
I
if
don't
you're going to
know.
hurl with someone, doesn't that imply that you probably had a pretty, possibly an awesome time, that you got to that point with them?
Couldn't Google change it to something that started with a C, like curl with somebody, and you play some, Canadian
That would, so what
obscure
would
game?
see, so, like, cat in real life? Check in real life?
Check in real life.
Check.
I don't know. I just can't get behind the whole hurl thing. I can't.
Yeah.
It's dead to me.
It's funny because Cliff made up a new one. It's called MIP, which is meet in person.
MIP? Wait, meet in person?
Meet,
MIP?
meet in
That's
person.
kind of old.
Mip?
I've done that before.
You
That's
mipped?
yeah.
I don't know. I love, like, people say like, I'm an online meeting, an online whatever, so, all right, well, my aspect ratio got messed up because Bobby Joe jumped out. She's starting the Conversations Plus. We're going to continue this conversation with you, Aaron Wood, and Tiffany, and we'll hopefully see some more, another exciting cover. I'd like to thank everyone, our guests, Aaron Wood, for joining us this week on Hangout Conversations. Despite all the snafus, how do you feel? Did you feel like it was fun? We got over it? We got past it?
It was good. It was good.
It was good. Cool. And Tiffany, thank you so much for jumping in, and looking
No
forward to talking
problem.
more to you. Were you and Tiffany? You were in the live. You were in the live chat at all during the show?
Yes.
So you want to talk
Yes.
before we go? You want to talk a little bit about what goes on the live chat for people that don't come to the live show or don't get to interact that way? What people are talking about, or if everyone's complaining about Rappaport, or like what's
There are a lot of jokes being passed around, but we talk about a lot of things. Bobby Joe was putting in some links and
cool.
just trying to entertain the general crowd, and we talk about a lot of things. Like different stuff. So
Yeah.
it's
No.
mostly us saying all saying hi to each other. Hi, glad you're here, hello, and then
Right.
there's just like jokes.
And it's a lot of
You
fun. I
should
mean,
read
it's
some of this. You should
wait.
read some of the stuff. There's stuff in there about you.
Cool. I would love to. You know what? The thing that sucks about the chat is when I go back, it only shows me so much.
Yeah.
So I'd have to actually like open it. But if you want to copy and paste it all and send it to me and get people in trouble, no, I'm just kidding. I don't care. No, I say whatever you want
Yeah.
about me. I'll live. I'm not. I'm
It's
not
all
sensitive.
good stuff, and it's all out of love.
Love
Just
it.
deny everything, man. Deny everything. That's
Denial
fine.
is a river in Africa. Is what I learned. And on that note, we're going to see you on Conversations Plus. Bobby Jo probably gave you the link already. She'll give the three of you the link. And Aaron, you're going to join in twice. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for waiting it out. If you're watching us on YouTube or anywhere else, iTunes, we're now on iTunes. That is awesome. We actually will be live next Thursday with one Renata Sherwin. She's a redheaded hangout, I was going to say mistress, but she's not a mistress. She's an awesome woman. I was trying to think of a word that described Mademoiselle, something fancy like Samantha. They're the redheads of the hangouts.
Hang out, madame.
Hangout, madame. Well, that sounds that connotation to it too. But yes, we'll be live with Renata Sherwin. Lots of more surprises next week, December 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. But just so you know, 8 p.m. is just for you to get in the chat room and say hi. We will then go live as be patient. We are a live show. We're new. This episode number 12. We had fun. We're still not totally ready, but we're enjoying ourselves along the way. And we'll see you next week. So enjoy your circles. Feel free to circle us on Google Plus, Hangout Conversations, plus one us too. That's kind of weird. We're going to talk a little bit about how you circle someone and you plus one them and all this other stuff you can do. But till next week, and as always,